son or daughter is studying
Daughter.
where?
Yes, sir. She's daughter actually.
Daughter.
So we are going live now. Yeah.
Which school is that?
In Kendriya Vidyalaya, Kanchanbagh, sir, Hyderabad.
Okay, great. Yeah.
So we are live.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. Once again, this is Ramanan, Mission Director of ATL Innovation Mission. And it is indeed always a pleasure and privilege to welcome all the ATL young students, the teachers in charge, the principals of ATL schools, the parents who have logged on, all the mentors who are playing such an important role in the growth of the ATL Innovation Mission, and especially the Tinkering Labs, and everybody else who has joined in on this particular occasion to share yet another set of viewpoints, suggestions, ideas, experiences, and best practices that have been gained through the interactions of our teachers in charge, our principals, our mentors, as well as some unique experiences of the parents. So I want to welcome you all. I hope all of you are hale and healthy in spite of this difficult COVID-19 circumstances in different parts of the country, and that you are all practicing the safeguards that have been advocated by your teachers, by your institutions, by your local health authorities, and by the local government. Indeed, we are thrilled and delighted with the increased participation that we see by all the students and by the teachers and by the ATL community through our YouTube sessions, through these live webinars that we conduct, as well as through the various other platforms of interaction that we have been having with every one of you. We are, after all, now a very large community. We are over 7,000 ATL Tinkering Labs are operational as of today. We have more than 3 to 3.5 million students from all our schools having the experience of the latest technologies like 3D printing, robotics, IoT, miniaturized electronics, and augmented virtual reality through do-it-yourself kits. And these do-it-yourself kits are enabling our young children to become very creative, very innovative. They're getting a hands-on feel of working with these technologies in an atmosphere of fun and learning, play and games. And at the same time, they're taking on very complex problems that they are seeing around the community and solving them. And that is the beauty. You are not being judged by marks in your exam. You're not being judged by whether you have scored an A grade or a B grade. You are being judged by yourself. Your own joy of innovation, joy of creativity, your ability to create something out of your imagination and your ideas and see it in action. And that is why the ATL Tinkering Labs are such a wonderful place for the young minds to experiment, to explore, to discover, and to be able to learn about the latest technologies which are shaping the world of tomorrow. And in this process, you're getting a chance to unleash the creative capability that you have in you and be able to solve problems so that you become a problem solver, an innovator, and a potential job creator of tomorrow. That is the purpose of the ATL Tinkering Labs, to stimulate in you this thirst for innovation and to be able to create solutions using your own imagination and your own creativity, and for you to become a great problem solver with impact upon the rest of the world. And I'm sure it will happen. But in this journey, there are some very important people who make these things happen. And that is the principal of your school, the teacher in charge, the mentor who is associated with your organization, the various students, and even student mentors. Some of the students who are senior may be helping you in your junior classes. All of these people come together to make all these things happen and to instill in you this creative spirit, this innovative spirit that is so very important. And at the same time, we are also launching many interventions from ATL Innovation Mission to enable you to become creative. And one of the most important initiatives that we launch is the ATL Tinkering Marathon every year. It's an annual marathon where we present challenges to you in various sectors. And This time the theme is Atmanirbhar Bharat. How do you create a self-reliant India? And a self-reliant India is built on the 5 pillars according to the Honorable Prime Minister. The pillar of demographic dividend, which means we have to be able to enable education and empower our young students from the different parts of our country, whether it is in tier 2, tier 3 districts, rural India, whether it is in the aspirational districts, whether it is in a village. And we are a large country. We have 650,000 villages. How do we ensure that the young, youthful students from grade 6 to grade 12 become innovators of the future? That's the pillar of demographic dividend that we all need to encourage and harness. Then is the pillar of infrastructure. How do we create smart infrastructure, smart villages, smart districts, smart cities, so that our young students, as they grow up, find local hubs of innovation and job creation? You don't want to be migrating to your tier 2, tier 1 city. There are only 8 tier 1 cities in India. You cannot ensure that everybody from tier 2, tier 3 cities is going to be flocking to tier 1 cities. So you need to ensure that these things, infrastructure is developed, and at the same time we enhance the digital infrastructure so that the power of your innovation reaches across to the remotest places. And then we have the pillar of demand, which means 1.3 billion people, different languages, different states, different cities, different districts whose needs are different. And how do we address this demand? And then the pillar of socio-economic progress. How do we ensure that we bridge the social divide? The divide between the haves and the have-nots, between the rich and the poor. How do we eliminate the 22% poverty below the poverty line in our country? How do we ensure that we solve the problems of the aspirational districts in education, healthcare, hygiene, waste management, and so on? And in all this, the pillar of technology is going to glue us all together and enable us to find new solutions. So this Atal Tinkering Marathon is a very important initiative from the Atal Innovation Mission. And I am hoping that every one of the 7,000 schools who are there is going to have at least 10 to 15 submissions in this Atal Tinkering Marathon, because you have an Atal Tinkering Lab. And without, many schools don't have that. Only 7,000 out of 1.4 million schools in our country have Atal Tinkering Labs. So you are the fortunate few. And I hope the principals and the teachers in charge ensure that your students delve themselves and immerse themselves in innovation and creating solutions. And I'm sure this is all going to have a tremendously positive impact, not only on the student lives, but also on that of the school. Now, I would like to introduce 4 very, very distinguished people who have agreed to join us today and share their thoughts on this entire thing. First and foremost, Dr. Sheila from Amrita Vidyalayam in Thalassery, Kerala. Ms. Sheila, thank you so much for joining us. You are the principal of a very, very innovative school. I know that there have been many entries from the ATL at Thalassery, and I congratulate you for encouraging your students and making innovative thinking a part of your school. We have an ATL in charge, a regional teacher of change, Bharat Bhushan from Chandigarh. Hello, Bharat. How are you? And thank you for joining today, Bharat ji. And it is indeed a pleasure and a privilege to have you as a regional teacher in charge, regional teacher of change, to participate. Our regional teachers of change are also a model example of how an ATL works, so that the other schools which are there in that region are able to take advantage of their expertise and their best practices. We have along with us Mr. Kalpesh, from who is another regional teacher of change from Jnana Prabodhini School, Navnagar Vidyalay in Pune. Hi Kalpesh, how are you?
Hello sir, I'm fine.
Thank you so much, Kalpesh, for joining today and being a part of this session. And finally, we have also a parent. And this is one of the first times we have got a parent on our show, Sandeep Upadhyay. Mr. Sandeep, thank you so much for joining us. I think your school your student, you have a daughter who is going to an ATL, Kendriya Vidyalaya in Telangana. So thank you so much for joining, and we are very interested in hearing your views on how the ATL is having an impact on your daughter and upon your family also. So with that, let me start off with our first guest, Ms. Sheila. Ms. Sheila, your school, yeah. Ms. Sheila, your school has been very active in all the ATL competitions and the events that have been held. And the school has consistently been participating in the ATL Marathon for the last 3 years, right from 2017. I want to congratulate and compliment you on that for making your students participate. In fact, last year's edition, you had one team in the top 150. Can you please share your experience of participating in the ATL Marathon in all these years? What motivates your school and the students to take part in the challenge? Because students are always having pressure from the teachers that you have to appear for your exams. Don't waste your time in an ATL. How do you overcome that, and what is the role that you see the principal playing in being able to encourage the students and participate every year in the ATL Marathon and all the ATL events? Please share your thoughts on this.
Okay, well, good evening, sir. Thank you for your question. Let me begin by expressing a heartfelt thankfulness to the Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi ji, for launching the Make in India, Atmanirbhar Bharat, and ATL initiatives as a powerful vision for our nation and an inspiration for the youth. Let me start by sharing my experiences about our journey with ATL Marathons. Founder of Amrita Vidyalayams and Amrita University Chancellor, Amma says that there are two types of education: education for living and education for life. All schools in India and throughout the world typically focus on academic excellence in core subjects such as science, mathematics, language, and social sciences. By doing this, we are preparing our children for an education for living. At the same time, when the children connect with the community, understand the problems of the community, and try to give back to the society, then the children are acquiring education for life. And we understand that ATL Marathon is promoting the same vision by encouraging children to think about their communities, become aware of the complex and multifaceted issues in the communities they live in, and get more connected with their communities. This convergence of vision of Amrita Vidyalayams to impart education for living and education for life, and the opportunities provided by the ATL Marathon for children to work on community problems creates motivation, accountability, responsibility, and enjoyment for the children to participate in ATL Marathons. I used to note that when we present new problem statements to the children as young as class 6, they start developing a scientific temper. And when this scientific temperament is instilled in children from such a very young age, they get more attentive, develop shraddha, to keenly observe and reflect upon their experiences. And all of this helps them to develop higher order thinking skills and ignites a spirit of inquiry, which culminates in a transformation in the children that is rooted in value of compassion. And in order to motivate the children, we need to develop their self-confidence and provide them with a powerful inspiration. Here comes ATL Marathon plays a pivotal role for this, and it becomes a perfect platform for the young minds to think out of the box, learn to ideate, and develop new perspectives. The children use the principles of design thinking and 21st century skills and develop solutions for problems they see in their communities with empathy and compassion. Again, ATL Marathon is an experiential learning process. When children engage in learning by doing activities, their keen participation and involvement in the activity makes learning an enjoyment for them, and learning just happens without the children even realizing it. It's a celebration for them. And they learn to work in teams, discuss, listen to each other, try out ideas, learn that there is no failures, but every trial and error are steps towards success. All this builds confidence in the children and they develop an appreciation for what it takes to truly become an innovator. In our school, we provide 2 periods per week for the children starting from class 6 onwards to spend in the ATL Tinkering Lab. Children learn artificial intelligence, problem-based learning, robotics, maker skills, etc., etc. And our school children participate in STEM activities all year around. They have attended workshops conducted by IIT Mumbai, Amrita University, attended live training sessions given by AIM, then attended Maker Fair in Bangalore, and participate in ATL Tinkering Marathon since 2017. And monthly, we do conduct science exhibition in our school where students get to showcase their scientific talents. Additionally, every year we conduct a 2-day science fair and ATL Marathon in our school where we invite eminent scientists from the community to interact with and give feedback to the children. All the nearby school children participate in this program. All this exposure has led to several national and international recognitions for our children, including becoming the state champions in WRO, World Robotic Olympiad in 2018, finalists for Adi Shankara Young Scientist Award in 2018, National Science Olympiad winners in 2019, Raman Young Science Innovator finalist in 2020, and getting selected as one among top 10 teams in ATL Marathon 2019. And every year, starting from 2018 onwards, our school children published research papers as well. Till date, our children have published 3 research papers. And in 2020 also, 3 more research papers have been accepted for publication from our class +1 and +2 students. Our school children have also presented the research papers in FabLine Asia 2020 in Thailand. But it's not just about getting achievements for which the children participate in the ATL Marathon. It is really about the experience of practicing new age 21st century skills, which is very different from the traditional learning experience in classrooms. Children treasure the experience they have got while interacting with the top scientists the world over. And we have now been able to build a community of innovators with supportive teachers, parents, and mentors. And here, mentors play a very big role in guiding the children along with school teachers. We have a good partnership with the faculty from Amachi Labs, Amrita Center for Wireless Network and Applications, and Amrita Technology Business Incubator of Amrita Vidyalayam. Through the tightly knit school-university partnership, we have been able to provide a strong foundation for the children in science and technology. So,
Ms. Sheila,
yes, sir. That's what about I would like to share with them.
thank you so much. It's wonderful. You know, I'm simply amazed with the breadth and the depth of the activities that the school has engaged in to promote innovation, scientific temper, research, and you also built a very collaborative network. What special message would you have for all the other principals? Because, you know, one thing that I see is if the principals don't drive this movement of innovation in the school, it's not going to get adopted. So what is the role of the principal, if you can quickly say, and some special message to all the other principals of the various schools who are attending this?
Sure, sir. My message to all the principals of ATLs is to do whatever it takes to give the children this golden chance of participating in ATL Marathon, and it allows them to explore and quench the thirst of curiosity. If you want to see your children more focused, more confident, and simply enjoy learning, this is the best opportunity you can provide as a principal to your school. And being myself a science postgraduate, I personally interact with my kids and mentor them as they do their scientific innovations. I would ideate with the children, help them develop their ideas, and give necessary guidance to them over the years. And this has led to a strong bond between children and me. I also believe that these interactions have seeded a value for learning in the children, and this culture of inquiry will carry them to greater heights in life. and by participating in events like ATL Marathon, children start thinking about others while solving a problem. Gradually, over time, moral values also develop in them. Values like empathy, discipline, compassion, cooperation, love for humanity, etc., which are really essential for a true scientist to help others. When children
Indeed.
work in the community,
Indeed. Right. These tinkering marathons is not just helping in innovation, but building a whole lot of other qualities: empathy, respect for humanity, understanding what sustainable development goals are, their role in the planet, future of this planet. All of these come to bear, and not only that, leadership skills and collaborative skills and communication skills also develop. So the ATL Tinkering Marathon is a perfect platform for the holistic development of a child that we constantly talk about, but we rarely have a chance to be able to enable them, and this provides that. So thank you so much, Sheila ji, for those wonderful words and best practices that you have been following, and I hope every principal is able to not only learn but share similarly their practices to the rest of the people. I'd like now to come to Bharat Bhushan ji. Bharat Bhushan ji, आप तो एक रीजनल टीचर ऑफ चेंज हैं चंडीगढ़ से, and you have been supervising many schools in Chandigarh and helping them. And आपका जो स्कूल है, it has participated in the top 200 teams of the year 2017 and 18. You are also having a chance to participate in the AIM Serious Innovation Program, which is a fantastic program and gave a tremendous exposure. हमारे students, they were able to go to Russia, और वहाँ जो exposure उन्हें मिला, that was a fantastic exposure to science technology which is happening in other parts of the world. We are very glad to have you on the panel today. What are your words regarding, your own ATL journey as a regional teacher of change? What's been your journey, and what do you think other teachers should do in order to encourage their students participate in these marathons?
Yes, sir. Regarding the ATL Marathon, I want to say that कि ATL Marathon में सबसे बड़ी चीज मैंने जो देखी, that is happiness. Child जो बच्चा जब कुछ बनाता है और उसको रियल सेंस में क्रिएट करता है, तो जो उसकी हैप्पीनेस है वो देखने लायक होती है. उस हैप्पीनेस के दम पे वो ऐसा लगता है कि जैसे उसमें इतना सेल्फ कॉन्फिडेंस है कि वो कुछ भी अचीव कर सकता है. उसका एक पहले बच्चा जो एनालाइज करता है एक प्रॉब्लम जो अपनी सोसाइटी में प्रॉब्लम होती है, उसका भी कोई सोल्यूशन ढूंढता है. आफ्टर दैट फाइंडिंग द सोल्यूशन वो उसको रियल क्रिएट कर लेता है. उसको उसमें जब उसको हैप्पीनेस दिखाई देती है तो वो हैप्पीनेस उसके लिए एक्सट्रीम इम्पोर्टेंट हो जाती है. तो मैंने यही देखा है कि जब बच्चे पार्टिसिपेट करते हैं एटीएल मैराथन में, तो उन बच्चों के अंदर में कुछ इतना कॉन्फिडेंस दिखाई नहीं देता, लेकिन जब उनके प्रोजेक्ट्स आगे लेवल पे जाते हैं तो बच्चों में एक कॉन्फिडेंस बनता है. उनको लगता है कि हमने जो सोचा था वो रियल सेंस में पॉसिबल हो चुका है. और जब उनको एप्रिसिएशन मिलता है एटीएल से, जैसे हमने 2017 में 2018 में हमारे बच्चे जब आगे अचीव करके गए, उनके अंदर जो कॉन्फिडेंस मैंने बिल्डअप देखा, फिर उनके अंदर जो वर्किंग कल्चर बना और स्कूल में एक नया कल्चर क्रिएट हुआ, तो उसके बाद हमने स्टेट लेवल पे, नेशनल लेवल पे बहुत सारी अचीवमेंट्स हमारी हुई. जवाहरलाल नेहरू नेशनल एग्जीबिशंस जो होती हैं उसमें हमारे बच्चों के लास्ट टाइम भी 3 प्रोजेक्ट थे और इस टाइम भी 3 प्रोजेक्ट पार्टिसिपेट करके आए. उसके अलावा बहुत सारी स्टेट लेवल की अपॉर्चुनिटीज बच्चों को मिली. तो इन सब अपॉर्चुनिटीज को बच्चों को तभी मिल सकी अगर हम एटीएल मैराथन में, उन्होंने फर्स्ट टाइम जब पार्टिसिपेट किया था 2017 में, वहां से कुछ बच्चे अचीव करके आए, तो एक वर्किंग कल्चर स्कूल में डेवलप हुआ. और इसमें मैं अपने प्रिंसिपल को बहुत अप्रिशिएट करता हूं, क्योंकि उन्होंने एक वर्किंग कल्चर हमारे स्कूल में बना रखा था. और ये मींस 2012 से जब मैंने स्कूल में ज्वाइन किया था, क्योंकि मेरा स्कूल जो है रीजनल स्कूल है, गांव का स्कूल है, विलेज का, और बड़ा स्लम एरिया का स्कूल है. और गवर्नमेंट स्कूलों ने कारण यहाँ पे जो बच्चे आते हैं वो इकोनॉमिकल वीकर सेक्शन के हैं. तो माइक्रो कंट्रोलर शायद उन्होंने सुना भी नहीं होगा, कभी वो हाथ में लेके देखेंगे, ये शायद हमने भी फील नहीं किया था कि कोई भी ऐसा उनको चीज अपॉर्चुनिटीज मिलेगी. लेकिन जब उनके हाथ में वो चीजें आई और उन्होंने एक्सप्लोर किया, तो हम देख के हैरान रह गए कि वो जो बच्चे बहुत ज्यादा वीकर सेक्शन से आते हैं, उन्होंने फिर भी ऐसी चीजें बना के दिखा दी और अपने घर की समस्याओं को सोल्यूशन में ढूंढा. तो उसके लिए हम अप्रिशिएट करता हूँ मैं अपने बच्चों को भी कि उन्होंने इसमें अपॉर्चुनिटीज को ग्रैब किया. क्योंकि जो वीकर सेक्शन के बच्चे होते हैं वो नॉर्मली अपनी फैमिली प्रॉब्लम्स में ही इतने ज्यादा रहते हैं कि वो आगे को सोच ही नहीं पाते। बट जब मैंने ये देखा, ये मेरी सोच थी, बट मैंने जब देखा कि 2000 एटीएल मैराथन में जब बच्चों ने पार्टिसिपेशन किया कि अगर उनको अपॉर्चुनिटीज मिलती हैं तो उन्हें ग्रैब करते हैं, और यही अपॉर्चुनिटीज एटीएल मैराथन उन्हें देता है। और 2018 में जब मेरे स्टूडेंट्स ने पार्टिसिपेट किया और उनको अचीवमेंट्स मिली, तो उनका कॉन्फिडेंस जब मैंने देखा और उनकी खुशी जो देखी वो मैं एक्सप्लेन भी नहीं कर सकता। तो दैट इज अ। और उसके बाद मैं जब रशिया गया तो मेरे से ज्यादा मेरे बच्चे खुश थे, क्योंकि उनको लग रहा था कि हमारे स्कूल ने कुछ अचीव किया है, सर जो है। और रशिया में आई एम रियली ग्रेट एक्सपीरियंस। वहां पे मैं एक डैनियल नाम के बच्चे से मिला जो 15 इयर्स का था, उसका स्टार्टअप था खुद का। वहां पे मैं एक ऐसी बच्चे से मिला रशियंस जो सैटेलाइट लॉन्च में टीम के मेंबर थी। तो ऐसे एक्सपीरियंस मैंने जब देखे वहां पे बच्चों के, तो मैंने आके अपने बच्चों से शेयर किए कि अगर तुम कल एटीएल मैराथन में और पार्टिसिपेट करोगे, आगे अपॉर्चुनिटीज मिलेंगी, तो तुम भी उन बच्चों के साथ कोऑपरेट करोगे, तो हो सकता है कल तुम्हारा सक्सेस का कैरियर यहीं से बने। तो एटीएल मैराथन मेरे हिसाब से जो कैरियर अपॉर्चुनिटीज भी बच्चों को आगे प्रोवाइड करेगा, क्योंकि आज वो छोटी छोटी जो चीजें प्रोडक्ट बना रहे हैं वो उनको फ्यूचर में एक बेटर बिजनेसमैन की तरफ लेके जा रहा है। क्योंकि एटीएल मैराथन के जो बच्चे, मेरे साथ 30 बच्चे गए थे, तो वो बच्चों का मैंने वर्किंग कल्चर देखा तो उनकी सोच अलग थी। उन बच्चों में एक नया उत्साह जागृत हो गया था कि हम अपने जो प्रोजेक्ट बनाए हैं उनको हम किस तरीके से बिजनेस या स्टार्टअप में क्रिएट करें। और ये चीज मैंने उन बच्चों में देखी कि ये चीज उनमें तब आई जब उनको उस मैराथन में एक अपॉर्चुनिटी मिली और उस मैराथन से उनको अचीवमेंट मिली। तो आई एम वेरी थैंकफुल टू एटीएल मैराथन कि उन्होंने नॉट ओनली माई स्कूल, पूरे इंडिया के स्कूल्स के बच्चों को ऐसी अपॉर्चुनिटी दी जहाँ पे वो बाहर के बच्चों से विजिट कर सकते हैं, कल्चर एक्सचेंज कर सकते हैं और टेक्निकल एक्सचेंज भी कर सकते हैं। थैंक यू।
एक्सेलेंट एक्सेलेंट भारत भूषण जी, आपने बहुत अच्छी तरह से शेयर किया। एंड 3 एलिमेंट्स आपके जो टॉक में था। एक है हैप्पीनेस। हैप्पीनेस क्यों होता है? क्योंकि ये एक गेम की तरह है, एक प्ले की तरह है। वो एक प्ले एनवायरनमेंट में वो डू इट योरसेल्फ किट्स लेके उसको जुड़ाते हैं, सॉल्यूशंस बनाते हैं, इनोवेशंस क्रिएट करते हैं, तो उसमें एक अजीब सी हैप्पीनेस मिलती है। और जब when you see your efforts resulting in something, you really feel very good about it, and then you want to do more of it. और दूसरी चीज है, ये जो है एक्सपेरिमेंटेशन, एक्सप्लोरेशन और डिस्कवरी की प्रोसेस से जुड़ी हुई है। और इसमें तो फेलियर्स होते हैं, लेकिन मैंने देखा हूं कि when people do an innovation in a team effort, तो हंसते हैं, उनके फेलियर्स पे ही हंसते हैं और उनको करेक्ट करना चाहते हैं। If you're appearing for an exam, if you make a mistake, you feel very depressed. However, if you're trying to create an innovation in the form of a group effort, you start laughing on your own mistakes and you now see how you can solve them. So that is another important part, because जो इस तरह की atmosphere में where you don't have the pressure of learning but the pressure of discovery, but the pleasure of discovery, you don't have the pressure of learning but you have the pleasure of discovery, pleasure of creativity, वहाँ जो learning मिलती है वो एक्सपोनेंशियली इंक्रीज हो जाता है। एंड आई थिंक दैट्स व्हाट यू हैव सीन। क्या मैसेज होगा आपको? देयर आर मेनी रीजनल टीचर्स ऑफ चेंज टुडे, वी हैव मोर देन 36, एवरी स्टेट हैज 2 रीजनल टीचर्स ऑफ चेंज। तो कुछ मैसेज आप दे सकते हैं उनको कि हाउ डू यू एनकरेज ऑल द स्टूडेंट्स फ्रॉम नॉट ओनली देयर स्कूल बट नेबरिंग स्कूल्स टू पार्टिसिपेट इन दिस मैराथन?
रीजनल टीचर ऑफ चेंज के लिए मेरा एक ही मैसेज है सर कि जो वर्किंग कल्चर है अगर हम अपनी रीजन में वो बना सकें, चाहे उसमें ऑनलाइन या फिर ऑफलाइन, अभी तो थोड़ा पॉसिबल नहीं है ऑफलाइन, तो बट ऑनलाइन भी हम उनको कल्चर, जो वर्किंग कल्चर बच्चे में बना सके। क्योंकि मैंने फेस किया है कि बच्चों में वर्किंग कल्चर की आज बहुत मुश्किल प्रॉब्लम है। बच्चे चीजों को करके सीखना नहीं चाहते, वो कोई ना कोई शॉर्टकट ढूंढना चाहते हैं। और वर्किंग कल्चर अगर बनेगा तो आई थिंक हमारा एटीएल मैराथन भी और अदर में भी नेक्स्ट कोई नोबेल प्राइज भी हमारे इंडिया से, हमारे बच्चों में से कोई लेके जाए, ये हमारा मतलब कि है उम्मीद कि हमें बड़े टाइम से हमारे इंडिया में नोबेल प्राइज नहीं आया है, तो साइंस की चीज में कोई नोबेल प्राइज हमारे बच्चे लेके जाए और वर्किंग कल्चर क्रिएट होगा।
Excellent. आपकी जो उम्मीद है वो हमारी भी उम्मीद है कि we will have not just one or two but several Nobel Prize winners. We'll have some great innovators. We'll have the next Steve Jobs from India. We'll have the next Bill Gates from India. ये सब possibilities हैं हमारे country में, हमारे देश में, क्योंकि हमारे students जो हैं इतने talented हैं, इतने innovative हैं. I have not seen anywhere इंडियंस हु हैव दैट एक्सपोजर. अभी आप देखिए सत्या नडेला माइक्रोसॉफ्ट को लीड कर रहे हैं, सुंदर पिचाई गूगल को लीड कर रहे हैं, ये सब इंडियंस हैं. अरविंद कृष्णा आईबीएम को लीड कर रहे हैं. दीज आर द टॉप टेक्नोलॉजी कंपनीज एंड दे आर बीइंग लेड बाय इंडियंस. तो उनको जब भी एक अपॉर्चुनिटी मिलता है, एक एनवायरनमेंट मिलता है जहां उनकी क्रिएटिव कैपेबिलिटी को उसकी शान को एक्सप्रेस किया जाए, तो वो अप्रोच दे रीच द हाईएस्ट लेवल्स ऑफ एमिनेंस. सो यही हमारी भी उम्मीद है. So thank you so much for your words of encouragement and your best practices that you shared. I'd like to go to Mr. Kalpesh from Jnana Prabodhini Navnagar Vidyalaya. Kalpesh ji, you have been an RTOC from Maharashtra. You have been associated with the ATL program since its inception, and you are a veteran in the ATL Innovation Mission programs. So I want to thank you so much for your participation, your efforts, and your commitment to the ATL Tinkering Labs. You have mentored several projects in the previous marathon challenges since 2017, and 7 of your projects have featured in the top 100. Now, I want to know what is the secret of 7 of the projects featuring in the top 100 over the last couple of years. It shows something must be, your approach must be slightly different, or the way you are able to help the children is slightly different. So please let us know as an ATL in charge, so that others ATL in charge and other RTOCs can learn from you.
First of all, thank you, sir, for inviting me for this panel discussion. I am in a bit awkward position. I have several senior members along with me, and maybe I just have the small qualification that I am part of Jnana Prabodhini, and I got a good group of students. I can have all these adventures in my ATL Tinkering Lab. As Sheila ma'am just mentioned, that we have the same thought that the textbook education what we have is not the ultimate goal, and this knowledge what we have taken in the classrooms, that need to be given back to the society. So doing this thing, likewise, many of the activities throughout the year in our school have been planned in an order to give our students an exposure of the society. Like one of the interesting example is a Mathrubhumi Parichaya Shibir, wherein students from our school visit various parts of our country, live along with the people in that part of the country. Like many of them visit the northeastern states, some visit the Chhattisgarh area, some visit some parts of Maharashtra itself, and from there they try to empathize with the people over there. So the very first step in design thinking, empathizing with my user, to see what are their problems. That's the first step which is carried out throughout the year through various examples. Even in the last 8 months when we are having lockdown, after the in around October, November, we had a series of online interaction with some of the COVID warriors for our students, and students had a very great exposure to how the system works and how our warriors are struggling and trying to save lives of each and every individuals. I think that is the very root level or the very grassroots level efforts which are taken at Jnana Prabodhini institutes. And like we always have this saying that when the marathon is there, we need to prepare from 1 or 2 months earlier. So start exploring, start having exposure, trying to empathize with the community around you. Even some of the students last year, they had a very brilliant idea. It's not my idea. That's a student's idea, that they wanted to empathize with the maid which used to come at their house, and during the lockdown she was not able to come and work and have no means to earn things. So what are the problems faced by such people? That was a very novel idea. That's the very first thing we try to empathize when we are preparing for such projects. So after that comes the interesting session of brainstorming, and brainstorming is like working in a gym. What we say, that if you are able to make 10 push-ups, we ask them to do 20 push-ups. So if you are able to, someone says I can come in with 25 ideas for this problem, so we say no, then you go for 40, at least 40. So once you cross your threshold, there comes the innovative aspects, because the first 25 are the very very usual things which everyone thinks of. The real innovation starts after the first 25 or your threshold limits, and so the innovative spirits come along with in that process. This is a very big task, and we carry out brainstorming sessions periodically. More the sessions, more the tinkering activities come up. And as you have mentioned, there are several projects, but even I'm proud of, there are many more 30 to 40 projects which are not in this, but they have the potential. They are the interesting ideas. I'm equally proud of all the students for them. And when students are working on prototyping for providing a solution, we all teachers try to ensure to give them the realization that you are not just students working in a marathon or a competition, but you are the real building blocks of tomorrow. Your small solution, your small cardboard prototype is going to give shape to tomorrow's India. So that's the confidence we try to inculcate with our students. And I think the marathon is a good indicator to measure that, yes, the environment is going healthy in this way.
Thank you, Kalpesh. I think these were some very, incredibly excellent points that you made. First and foremost, the empathy factor. You have to put yourself in the other person's shoes and experience the problem they are experiencing. And when you experience that, then you are able to understand that how do I try to solve this problem? Because if you don't understand the problem, you cannot solve it. And therefore, also your efforts in exposing the young students a variety of problems in different places, not just the place where they come from. But if you take them to Chhattisgarh, you take them to Bilaspur, you take them to Sikkim, or you take them to the rural villages of Maharashtra, you are able to see some reality which you have never encountered. And that is going to trigger in you new thinking of how can I help to solve the problem. And that is the first step. The empathy factor is the first step. And then you also mentioned how you push them to submit more ideas than their threshold, because it is when you cross the threshold that your brain really starts working very hard. What is the next 26th or the 27th idea that others have not thought of that I can think of? And that's where innovation and creativity start coming in a very, very intense manner. And I think you have been doing that. And then also it is, as you said, this innovation that the students create is the first step towards creating the product. It may be a cardboard innovation, it could be a prototype, but it is a prototype which evolves. And that's why we believe that this is a great opportunity for students to start thinking about how they are going to construct something tomorrow. In fact, Einstein said that combinatorial play leads to human productive thought and creativity. It is so they're right now playing with the tools that is equipping them to create a prototype of a solution. But that is what leads. In fact, the first present that Einstein got, I don't know whether people know the story, but he got a compass. And when he got a compass, his father presented him a compass when he was 7 years old or 6 years old. And he said it was that compass which set him thinking about the universe. And he went on to find the theory of relativity and the two theories that he developed, and of course Einstein is considered a genius. But what happened was that exposure to the compass, and he looked at it and he studied it. He said, why is it pointing in this direction? What is it about gravity, and the whole thing about gravity and space-time and all of that stuff. Everything came later on. But this is your first exposure to become possibly the Einstein of tomorrow. And so you need to, this is a great opportunity for you to engage with and unleash your creative juices in you, right? And that will lead you to become the innovator. So thank you, Kalpesh ji. I just want to ask you one more question. An ATL in charge role is not just the tinkering marathon, but also ensuring that the operational dashboards, the ATL dashboards are filled, the compliances are assured. Please tell us a little more of how you are ensuring all of this.
Okay. I make a small partition along with that these are the institutional things which makes you a good administrator. So that has to be done somewhere. So those things should be done along with aside from all the students' things. and some time is already reserved for my students, wherein my students come in our adult tinkering lab, and we never discuss this thing with the students, and we just go on exploring as the students go along with their flow. Like I had mentioned, like when we are on the exposure trips or for the shibirs, we are in the role of observers. We observe how students try to empathize with the people or the students in those areas. Then while brainstorming, we try to encourage them, motivate them to excel around along with their sessions to come out with the new ideas. And after the solutions part, we try to encourage them and cultivate in them the sense that yes, you are making something significant, something novel, which is going to contribute to the society. So after this journey, we as a ATL in charge, I became as an observer to a friend of my students, and like we have for others, we have 7 achievements or 7 marathon winners, but for me personally, what I have, that I have almost 15 to 20 stories, adventure stories along with my students, how I conquered with the marathon thing, how we made some jugards, we arranged some materials, and that's something we keeps me going for last 3 hours and more, many more years forward.
Excellent. Please do share with the Atal Innovation Mission, and we'll also be happy to share that with all the others, your adventure stories, some best practices, some excellent innovations, and that is true for everybody who is listening onto this call. So with that, I would now like to go to a parent. You know, at the end of the day, the parent's encouragement to the child plays a very, very important role. In the school, it is the teacher. At home, it is the parent. And unless the teacher and the parent encourage children to become innovative, to become enterprising, and don't put conflicting pressures on them, this is going to have a detrimental effect on the child. But if both of them encourage them towards innovation and recognizing their capabilities, then this will do enormously positive impact on the child. So, Mr. Sandeep, thank you so much for joining this panel. You are a parent of a very proud parent, I would say, of your daughter, who is doing excellently, as I understand, in ATL. Please tell us a little more about your experience of the Atal Tinkering Lab as a parent, and what message would you have to all the other parents who are probably tuned on to this particular call?
Thank you, sir. First of all, I am very much thankful to the Atal Innovation Mission who gave me this opportunity to speak as a parent about the role of the Atal Tinkering Lab in my daughter's life. Actually, my daughter was innovative mind from the childhood itself. She was doing some craft work, and then after she was participating in the science fairs, etc. And but the main thing was that she didn't get any special prize, and but she didn't disappointed and kept on trying. So that was the great thing in him. Then when the Atal Tinkering Lab was set up in the school, then as a parent, we decided to let her join and participate. At that time, we didn't know that how we have taken, because before that she was making just a simply mechanical and electrical part, but after the working in the ATL, she know about that even the programming and the electronics and communication skill also improved. Regarding the journey of the marathon 2018, she went. She made a group, and she had an idea to make the project. So she went to the ATL mentors and shared the idea. The mentors also liked that idea, and they decided to just we will participate in the marathon 2018. That idea was fortunately it was selected, and the team started to making the project, and 200. And it also we motivated the team, and that in between that Atal Innovation Mission invited that in the Atal Incubation Center to convert that project into a product. There they learned a lot. So this is the this happened with the due to that Atal Innovation.
Excellent, excellent, Sandeep ji. Can you hear me? I think he got. Mr. Sandeep, can you hear me? I will wait for him to join, but I think there is a fantastic message here, and that is a message to all the parents. You see your children, and by the way, Mr. Sandeep Upadhyay's daughter's name is Shreya, and Shreya has not only been among the top 200 teams of the ATL Marathon 2018, but she was also selected for the Indian student delegation in the AIM Series program. And I think, what is very clear is parents have a very positive role to play in recognizing the innovative capabilities of their children and encouraging them towards innovation. Many parents may have this worry, or even teachers may be having this worry that students are spending time in innovation, they will neglect their studies and so on. I don't think that is at all true, because students who are innovative in nature are pretty intelligent, and they will start seeing how to apply the principles that they have learned in the class, whether it is physics, chemistry, maths, biology, and see how they can use them in the innovation. And they will keep going back to the textbook. In fact, when I look at some of the innovations, it is not possible for them to do the innovation without a very good understanding of the theory behind it. And the theory of whether it is a GPS-based innovation, you need to understand physics well, you need to understand mathematics well. If you're good in electronics, you need to understand about electronics and science well. So, all of these will automatically get reinforced. So I think neither the parents nor the teachers should be worried that students spending time in an Atal Tinkering Lab is going to be detrimental to their academic performance. In fact, you will find that they are doing better and better. And I'm sure if the schools start mapping it, they will see that themselves. It is, I think we are running we have about 5 minutes left. I'd like one message from each of you to your fellow peers, from Sheila ji to all the principals. My hope is that every ATL principal is ensuring that their school submits at least 15 to 20 innovations at a minimum, because you're talking about 500 students in your school. And if you don't get 15 to 20 innovations, we are not doing justice to the whole thing, right? So I'd like thank you, Sandeep ji, for joining back. I just shared how important it was for the parents to play a positive role, a reinforcing role to the student innovation. And your example is a perfect example of how you have been helping, you and your wife have been helping Shreya in advancing in her innovation career. So I just want to, one message from every one of you for the peers. So we'll start off with the principal. What message would you have to the other principals to ensure that their students participate very actively in Atal Tinkering Labs and also in participating in the marathon?
Okay, sir. Well, am I audible, sir?
Yeah, we can.
Okay. Okay, sir. So we know that the world today, we are facing the challenges of COVID-19, and tomorrow we know that there might be another one. So as a nation, we need to build this resilience to respond to all crises using indigenous technologies, and by inculcating the spirit of this tinkering and innovation in young minds of India, in the way ATL Marathon is doing, our motherland can become one of the most prosperous countries of the world. And I strongly believe that it is our responsibility as a school principal and as a citizen of India to be a part of it. So please do it. This is my message to all the ATL principals, and I look forward to seeing many more schools and children participating in ATL Marathon 2020 from here onwards. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much, Ms. Meena, for your wonderful message. I turn over to Bharat Bhushan ji. I am not able to see him, but if he is not connected, then Kalpesh ji, can you give a message to all the regional teachers of change and all the teachers in charge? And also, you're a mentor to many, so to the mentors of change too.
As our country is a vibrant country with many of festivals, and we celebrate many festivals with a very great zeal, I would like to call upon all teachers, mentors, and students to let's celebrate this as a big festival, which will be echoed for many more decades to come through development and through the picture of an Atmanirbhar Bharat. So let's celebrate this as a big festival of India.
What we are celebrating is a festival of innovation. This is not just a tinkering marathon. It is a festival of innovation. And I love that idea. We let us celebrate it as a festival, bringing joy, gaiety, spontaneity, innovation, creativity. All of this goes when we celebrate a festival, and we all come together in celebrating a festival. So I think the ATL Tinkering Marathon is a perfect platform for celebration in a festive manner. The festival of innovation. Thank you so much, Kalpesh ji. Can you, Mr. Bhushan, आपका क्या message होगा to all the other teachers in charge and all the students of participating in this tinkering marathon, और किस तरह से participate करना चाहिए?
सर, मेरा मैसेज तो यही है कि बच्चे जो अपना आइडियाज रखें, उनके आइडिया को एप्रिशिएट किया जाए, उसको प्लेटफॉर्म पे लेके जाएं, ताकि किसी के आइडिया को छोटा ना समझा जाए, और मैक्सिमम जो टीचर्स हों हर आइडिया को एप्रिशिएट करें. कोई बच्चा कब कुछ नया कर जाए इसके बारे में हम कुछ नहीं कह सकते.
एक्सेलेंट. ये बहुत अच्छी थॉट है. एंड द थॉट इज, इस इनोवेशन फेस्टिवल में, ये फेस्टिवल है, एंड नथिंग इज रॉन्ग. There is no attempt which is being made by any student which is a failure. It is the first attempt in learning, or it is a success. So this approach or this attitude say not only the student has to approach, but the teacher has to approach. Everyone is already a winner. If you are participating in the marathon, you are already a winner, because you are a winner in the journey of life. And that is more important than just winning a particular reward or a particular recognition. And you have started on this journey means आपके effort डाल रहे हैं, आपके mind डाल रहे हैं, आपके body, mind and soul is actually going into the creation of an innovation. And so what can be better than that? So I think आपका message जो है बहुत appropriate है for this particular occasion. And now as a parent, Sandeep ji, what message would you give to all the parents who are there? Because without their encouragement, their children are not going to participate in innovation.
Sir, my message to all the parents that lab is the place where the children can flourish their the creative mind, and they can showcase their talent in the society. Let the child participate in the ATL events. That 2020 is there. That last date is 28th February. So hurry up, that as early as possible apply for that. And last but not the least, if my child can achieve this, then why not your child? So thank you very much, sir.
Okay, thank you so much, Sandeep ji. That is so inspiring to every parent. Do apply. This is an opportunity for your child to show what they can do. And as he says, हर child में ये innovative talent है, हर child में ये capability है, ये native intelligence है. I've always been maintaining that everyone is a born innovator. हम हमारी जब जन्म होती है, तो we are not, nobody teaches how to stand, how to speak, how to dance. कोई सिखाते नहीं है, हम सीखते हैं. How do we learn? By looking at the world around us. And whatever we see, we try to imitate, we fail, we fall down, we are not able to speak properly. लेकिन हम ये जो approach है, child का approach जो है, And that was a recent conference on toys and games. To the child, the whole world is a toy. Isliye Hanumanji started jumping up and trying to catch the sun because he thought that the sun was a nice toy to play with. और उससे उनका creativity भी unleash हो गया, and his power and everything came up, right? So when the world is looked upon by a toy and as a game, then your ability to absorb, learn, and be creative is enormous. And that is what the ATL Tinkering Lab is enabling you to do, is enabling you to approach in a spirit of fun, but at the same time, you are learning so much by doing and playing with it, exploring, discovering, and enabling your creativity to shine. So wonderful messages from all of you. I want to thank every one of you for participating. और हमारी जो AIM team है यहाँ, I want to thank them. Dipali Upadhyay, who is a program director for the ATL Innovation Mission. Swati, who is heading our teachers, mentors of change program. We have Ronak, who is the operational management lead for the ATL Tinkering Labs and the Maker Innovations and so on. And we have Vishnu Priya, without whose support, none of you would get any of the grants that you all have been getting.
We know that very well.
So, and there are a whole lot of other people, Naba and others who are working behind the scenes. Thank you so much to all the AIM team. But more importantly, thank you teachers, principals, mentors, parents, the regional teachers and regional teachers of change, all of you who are playing an immensely positive and contributory role to the growth of innovation in our country. Thank you so much.
Welcome,
Thank you
sir.
so much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you to all our panelists today. It was wonderful hearing from all of you and very, very inspiring. Before we end this session, we had a few questions on where can I apply and the application link. So I'll just like to share my screen for all the viewers on YouTube, all the students who are watching us. And this is how you can apply. If you go to our ATL Innovation Mission website, which is aim.gov.in, you will see a banner here, which is the ATL Marathon 2020. Just click on it and you will be redirected to our application portal. Here, there were some questions on research. So we've added a section on what is research and how you can go about it. And also the amazing prizes and rewards that are in store for all the winners. So don't miss out on this opportunity. We are looking forward to all your ideas and innovations. So please participate today. Thank you so much. Thank you to all the panelists and thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Have a great weekend, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.